what's going to happen here. Ian Gagan's pulling into the pits. Ian Gagan is in the pits. There's some trouble there. So Gagan might be out of this race. Gagan in the pits, and we have a change of order. Neil Allen has gone to the front, and in second place is Brian Foley in the Morris Cooper S, and in third place is Bob Jane, also in the Ford Mustang. So Gagan, after starting on about the fourth line of the grid, went through to take up first place. He held that lead for about 2 or 3 laps, and now at the end of the fourth lap, Gagan is in the pits, obviously out of the race. The leader now is Neil Allen in car number 3, also the Ford Mustang, and the tiny tot Brian Foley in the Morris Cooper S has moved into second place, with Bob Jane in car number 2 back in third place. But Ian Gagan is going back into the race, is it? Now the pits are in the race. Now he's into the pits. Yes. So Ian Gagan is a withdrawal. So it's definitely now Neil Allen in front of Brian Foley, with Bob Jane in third place. With me now is Bill Bryce, and what a clash is this, Bill, between these giant Mustangs and the tiny Morris Cooper S.
Yes, this seems to be old Brian Foley's way of life now, battling up against these Mustangs. He brought the car to New Zealand for a couple of races over there for the New Zealand Grand Prix meeting, and there's a lot of smoke or dust coming out there as they're clipping up through the edges. But and he had some great battles over there with the New Zealanders. He did extremely well indeed. Neil Allen, I saw him drive last week. A very forceful driver, I feel. One that's very got a sort of a big right foot, let's say. He really puts it down. Could be in a little bit of a disadvantage once again, but doesn't seem to worry Ian Gagan, this left-hand drive business around this very tight circuit. But here's a fine shot of Foley. Brian Foley from New South Wales going extremely well in the Little Mini, and he's really hanging it onto the door handles as he sets sail down along through here. The car immaculately prepared. Look at that. He's really getting that rear wheel. This is a mini trait, this, where you see that right rear wheel lift up off the ground. And here he goes again, a change of direction. Making it look very easy indeed, but this car travelling very fast. As you can see the way, look at it coming through the corner there, really powering it on. In Britain, Norman, when the two works drivers get going in these John Rhodes and John Hanley, they really hang them on, and the smoke gushes up from the front wheels as they're a front-wheel drive car. And here they are into Creek Corner.
And the official margin after 5 laps between the two was only 1.1 seconds. Third place is number 2, Bob Jane, also in the Ford Mustang, and he's followed closely by the 2 Morris Cooper S's, number 11 P. Barnes and number 12 B.A. Jones. But these two out in front have quite a big lead over the third car, and tremendous interest for the huge crowd here in this David Goliath battle between car number 3, the big Ford Mustang, and the tiny tot Morris Cooper S. And in practice, Brian Foley had the faster time. He recorded 1:45.6 to Neil Allen's 1:46.4.
Yes, that gives some proof to it, but it's Neil Allen now. But look at the rear wheel. It's the outside wheel there of Brian Foley's car, lifting right off. So he's three-wheeling this little wee Mini around, and here he goes. He's setting it up now. He's got quite a job to get past that big Mustang. As they sit sail into Apollo, there's Allen clipping the edges. Foley using the full power now, and he's right onto it. The little Mini, front-wheel drive, 1300 cc's.
Look at Brian's habit. He does this all the time. He gets to a corner, he'll look right out the window. It's a characteristic he has. He takes these corners where he might have restricted vision on the right-hand side, and he actually sticks his head at time out the window, particularly on Creek Corner, to look right down at his front.
Sorry, Norman, but just on the change of direction there, you see the car come round very viciously indeed. This is the limit slip diff working, of course, as the weight goes. Oh, he spun it. Yes, he was going very nicely held. Look at this. He's still got it on the island, still on the track, sorting things out now in a big way. No, he's out of the car. Something's obviously wrong. I think something is probably broken in it, else he would have kept going. It was a very nice spin. You can see the car spinning in its own length there as he set sail. Things very wild down there now. The yellow flags will be waved, the caution flag, and the marshals are running out to help Brian Foley. But that was bad luck indeed. Something is obviously broken. Well, through goes car number 2 on the screen, and this is Bob Jane in the Mustang V8. Quite a way back now from Neil Allen, and he'll have to take up the chase. Car number 2, the Mustangs dominating Australian, as everywhere else in the world. This type of regulations for saloon car racing, very fast indeed. In fact, it's quite a pity to see the retirement of Ian Gagan.
Well, this may well be the survival of the fittest. We've seen 2 of the top 4 who've drawn so far. One to the pits, and that spin by Brian Foley. So who's going to last the distance? Bob Jane, who dropped back to 4th place, suddenly finds himself running 2nd. Now, the important thing is Neil Allen. How's he going out in front? And knowing what happened to the car behind him, we see that he might have just clipped the fence there.
Yes, I think so, Norman. I think he just clipped it. If not, he was very, very close to it. Here's the leader, Neil Allen, coming through with the front looking a little battered. There's the stoplights going on. He's taking 2 stabs at the braking. You can see the car coming up on the suspension travel and setting down. It sits down on the tail as he puts the power in, and they're still pushing Brian Foley off the circuit. As away he goes now, they're getting him out of the way, as through clipping the dust indeed. In fact, I think one of the markers there was Neil Allen. Coming through there very, very quickly indeed. Out of the shadows he comes now and really hurtles it down along this straight. There's a fine shot of it going in into the braking area now. You'll see it swinging around to the right in the very, very tricky creek corner, setting it up. As you can see, look at the turn there you have to do. You have to come out, then get it all the weight of the car transferred onto the outside, then back onto the other side. As here it is once again, lifting up, setting it up through the corner very nicely indeed.
Quite remarkable, these big Mustangs, the tremendous pressure on the suspension and on the tyres, because the body sway, it's like watching a hula dancer, the way they carve right across from one side to the other, particularly in this area of the course as they approach the causeway.
Yes, they're very, very much tied down, Norman. The suspension is very, very tight, very hard, but as you can still see, the picture we're getting is very good indeed, because it's showing all the stresses going on there on those outside hubs as the car goes through this terrific, the power's on there, you see. He come off the brakes and back onto the power. You see the stoplights on, the nose is dipping, cutting the apex of the corner. Good style indeed. He's very, very comfortable, I would say, at this stage. And there's the nose lifting again as it really puts the power on through the back wheels. Big wide wheels on these Mustangs, as big as the single-seater racing cars actually. And here it is, flashing into view, nice line through the corner, and right on the power. You can hear the V8 echoing out through now as through he goes, car number 3, Neil Allen.
And his gap over the second car, which is Bob Jane, well, it's probably about 300 or 400 yards now, something like 15 seconds. Due to the excitement with Brian Foley, we've just miscounted. We're watching the clerk of the course down here with a black and white flag. I think there'll be less than 2 laps to go. This may well be the last lap, but I think there are maybe 2 laps to go because of the spin there. We just didn't keep check of the exact number of laps, but the leader is giving a great exhibition now, Neil Allen, and he's not slackening down at all because he's maintaining his lead. That looks like the second car just up in the straight now. That's a fair way. That straight's a mile long, and our camera showing that mile-long straight. Well, half a mile is a long way to be behind with only a couple of laps to go. It's the darker car is Bob Jane, the Ford Mustang, also car number 2, and this is him now in second place. But of course the leader, car number 3, Neil Allen, it would be a quarter of a mile to half a mile ahead.
Doesn't seem to be handling as good as Allen's car. There's Jane with a wow, he's really had the tail out that time. Really trying to get, he's just catching it. In fact, if you look very carefully into the car itself, you can see him working very furiously there, off the power and getting the correction. Here's a fine shot. Look into the car and you can see Neil Allen there, right in the cockpit, working away furiously, just clipping through the edges, and he'll come out now for the right-hander. There he is, setting it out a little late on his entry into the corner. You see where he's getting it, he's hitting the apex of the corner about 10 yards too deep. He should be over on the other side there a little quicker, and he could cover through and make a legal line through the corner indeed. But still, he's getting through them very rapid indeed as he comes around into the main street now, accelerating down through here, the nose lifting once again. There he is, changing gears to go into the right-hander. No braking that time, so he must be easing it off just a little bit. Not trying, doesn't have to try as hard as possible. Good shot coming through, using right out to the left hand to go through the right-hander. There he is, swinging into at the back of the picture there, sweeping up past some of the slower minis, and he'll gobble them all up with that big nose of the Mustang. Comes on, this is a good shot coming down towards us now. You can filling up the screen is Neil Allen and the Mustang.
And the clerk of the course has taken out the checkered flag, so that suggests that this is the last lap of this 10-lap race over 22.5 miles. So the checkered flag is out as car number 3, Neil Allen, the Ford Mustang V8, has about half a lap to go. He's going over near the northern crossing, the second of the 2 crossings